Hi, this is Mike Pichet from EZUS. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install sipXecs. sipXecs is very easy to install. All you need to know is the following information: a PBX host name, and that will be the fully qualified domain name, or FQDN, an IP address that you'd like to use, including the subnet mask and the gateway, what you want to use for a DNS server. I suggest if this is your first install, you let sipXecs be the DNS server, because DNS server configuration can be a little complex. And DHCP server. Again, let's let your sipXecs server be your DHCP server as well. And lastly, the SIP domain. This will be easy because it's the domain part of the fully qualified domain name. If you don't know what any of this information is, I'd suggest you visit the wiki and do a little bit of research. That would be at wiki.sipfoundry.org. This is what a typical sipXecs system looks like. You have a standards-based server running sipXecs. That's recommended to be 2.4 gigahertz or better, with at least 2 gigabytes of RAM, an 80 gig hard drive or better, and in this instance we're going to set it up to do DNS and DHCP for our network. That'll connect into a network switch, preferably a managed switch that supports quality of service, or QoS. We'll need some IP phones, of course. A gateway is a device that connects to the PSTN if you have analog telephone lines. If you want to connect to an ITSP, or Internet Telephony Service Provider, a gateway won't be required, but a firewall that connects you to the Internet will need to be able to do what's called static outbound NAT. Again, if you don't know what that is, read up a little bit and find a compatible firewall. Okay, we're almost there. Go get the ISO from the wiki.sipfoundry.org. Download the current stable ISO, burn it to a CD, and then boot your machine off the CD. Okay, once you press enter, CentOS will load up and it will automatically partition the hard drive and then format the hard drive. Once it's done that, it will go ahead and copy the installation files right to the hard drive. And I've accelerated this process for us so we don't have to sit here and watch it. Here we go. Alright. Copying the bootloader to the hard drive, and the system is going to reboot now. Okay, here we are booting back up. System will go through some initial checks. Again, I've sped all this up so we don't have to sit here and wait for it. And for the first time, we're going to log in as user root with password setup. Press enter to select start. Set the root password that you're going to want to use. This is the root user for the Linux operating system. Press tab to move to OK and press enter. Okay, here's where we enter our PBX host name. I usually use something like sipx dot and then the domain name that I want to use on the system. This is the IP address for the PBX. And the subnet mask, and the system's default gateway. Again, press tab to move to OK and press enter. Now you select yes if you do not want the PBX to be your DNS server, or no if you want it to be your DNS server. For your first time, go ahead and pick no. These are the forwarding DNS servers, so when you want to find something on the internet, I'm going to enter 2 that I use. The system's bringing up the network interface. Next thing we're going to need to do is set our time zone. continent and what city you're in. I'll go out and verify that it can get time properly. And then yes if you do not want the PBX to be your DHCP server, or no if you do want it to be your DHCP server. Again, for the beginner, pick no. You should be setting this up all on its own network. Okay, click OK. And if this is the first server, which I assume it is, select first server and press enter. The system will take a guess at your domain name from your FQDN that you entered before. And I believe that's it for questions. It'll zip through the rest of it here after it generates certificates. And go ahead and hit tab to move over to reboot, and the system will reboot. Okay, here the system is booting back up again. You're going to want to check and watch all the OKs over on the right hand side there. Make sure everything starts up properly. Sometimes if you have a funny network card, it may cause problems, or if you're using your own DNS server and you haven't configured DNS properly, the sipX services may not start properly. And there we go. We've got a fully functional system. We can now point our web browser at the IP address or the domain name of the phone system. Congratulations. Once you manage to get your web browser pointed at the PBX, you'll be prompted to enter the super admin user password. This should be different from your root password. Go ahead and enter it twice and click apply. Once you've entered your super admin password, you'll be prompted to log into the system. Go ahead and use user ID superadmin and the password you entered as a PIN, and click the login button. To learn more about OpenUC, visit eZeus at www.ezuce.com.